Hi everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. And I'm in camouflage. Well, it was snowing a little while ago and we have to brighten the day however we can. And if you grow orchids, it's not that hard. So I've got the ones in bloom here, but that's not what we're doing today. And thank you very much for joining me. I love you all, because we all share the love of orchids, and that's just so special. So I better get busy because I have a big schedule today. And thank you, we made 6,000 subscribers, which is pretty great because I don't do ads, and they don't like to give you too much upfront notice if you don't do ads. But when I started this, I said no ads, and I meant it. So, it's just for fun. And, oh boy, Jack said no more orchids. And so we went shopping yesterday. Oops, the day before yesterday. We went shopping, and, no, it was yesterday. And we went everywhere downtown, and he kept saying, want me to get you that? Want me to get you that? And I said, no, it's not an orchid. and then there's all, by the way, these are all grocery store orchids because there's only two places you can buy them here. That's the Uptown Grocery Store Askew's, which is a local store which carries lots of good stuff, and Save On downtown. Those are the only two places in this town, and all you get is Phalaenopsis. You don't get nothing else. That's it. So imagine my surprise. We're driving home because the Uptown one is closer to where we live. And we're driving home, and he said, do you need to go uptown for anything? And I said, I don't think so. He knew I was looking at an orchid in there the other day. So we did go in. He drove there, and we went in, and the orchid I was looking at was still there. And he bought it for me for Valentine's Day. And not only that, I knew it was special, but I didn't know how special till I got home, because I'd never seen one like this before. And then I had to start doing some searching. So that was, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, my bark's been soaking for 2 days, and that's good enough. So yeah, it was a couple days ago. And so I want to show it to you and see if you notice anything different about this Phalaenopsis. Okay, I'll try and hold it steady. Okay. Now, look at the bottom lip. It's huge. And it's not, the other Phalaenopsis, the lip is way up closer to the center and it's small. This is, I had to do investigating. This is a big lip or a big foot Phalaenopsis orchid. So imagine my surprise. Oh, excuse me. Plus, I've never gotten one where there's this many buds that haven't opened yet. 2 flowers out. I'm a little nervous because usually when I pot to bark, I never lose flowers. And 1 or 2 buds on the end, I never lose. Once in a while I've lost 1 or 2. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm doing it anyway. And now I'm right. It was yesterday, but the reason I have my bark soaking was because I was planning on doing my new project. So this is the one I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and decided to do. And this is it. And I'll show you what I've done. Now, all this inside of this is an upside down garden cage that you get for small rose bushes and things. It's my third one I had outside. I have no more outside anymore because I brought them in. And the legs you stick in the ground. He welded together up here, and then I painted it because it was in bad rusty shape. But inside I have some clear, it's 30 gauge plastic, so it rolls easy. And I've made 2 holes where the pot is going to go, and I've made 2 holes where I'm going to mist. And I'm going to tell you why I've done this, because when I did this is my bathtub video, and I took this orchid out of this pot. It had beautiful, beautiful long aerial roots stuck to the outside of the pot, and I loved it. And it hurt me so bad to take them off, and they never good. I ended up trimming them back, which is going to set it back. I'm not happy about it. And inside, if you remember, at about 8 minutes into the video on the bathtub video, there was 3 orchid roots that were this long. They were from where I had the metal cage that stops the bark from going down to the bottom. And they weren't getting any light. There's no holes there. So they were surviving in there because of the mist. But what I thought after is I don't want to go through this again. And how can I encourage these roots? Because this orchid was thriving. It was getting leaf after leaf, and it was just thriving. It was so healthy, and that is part of the reason why. Those aerial roots, because they're out of the pot, but they're also contained in a human environment. So they were doing so good in there. So what I've done is, this time, I'm not letting them come out of here. I'm going to poke them back in if I see them sticking their heads up. So, I better hurry up. So, I have this. So, I also had to hunt around and found this pot. And I put lots of air holes in the bottom, and there's 2 in the side. It's not real deep, so it's going to get lots of air circulation, because that's very important. But why so many holes? Jack made some extras because I want the roots to grow down and come in here, and we'll be able to see it as it happens. And what else? Because it's clear, they should be green. And then, because this isn't such a deep pot, when I have to repot it, I won't have to disturb it. And even if I have to pull it out of here, the aerial roots, if they grow like I'm hoping they will, and this plant could grow real good. And I'll tell you why I picked this plant. So the reason I can repot this the day after I did it is because I had bark soaking for this project, and I was going to put one of my other orchids in it, and I was going to do that today. But after bringing this home, and I know, okay, remember, if you got an orchid for Valentine's Day and you're changing it from moss to bark, then remember, anytime you change the media of an orchid to anything from anything, you lose roots, because new roots grow to suit that media. That is proven. That is what happens. So, some of you people, if you get a new orchid in, it's February, and come May you look at it and say, oh, it's not doing very good, I'm going to put it in Leica. And then you say, oh, it's not doing very good, I'm going to go to, well, every time you change, you're setting that orchid back. Just be patient and wait for it to settle in. And good thing, this is the start of the growing season here. The days are getting longer, so there's way more chance of survival. This is the prime time to have repotted your orchid and new roots grow. So, let's get at it. So, I've been soaking my bark for 2 or 3 days, and I put a little bit of liquid algae in with the bark to soak. And that will help to encourage the new roots that will be coming because the days are changing. And I want to tell you something about this orchid first and why I decided instead of taking one of mine that's used to bark to try this. So, oh, wrong paper. Oh dear. Anyway, wrong paper, Carolyn. So, the flowers can grow up to 5 inches. The plant can grow really huge and last for a long time. And I thought I had the paper here, but I can't run that far now. So, let's take it out of here. Let's dump this bark in here. Oh, hi Maggie. Did you go to get the mail with Dad? Yeah, it's a good girl. Okay. Okay, there. We dumped the bark, and I'm going to rinse it out because it gets some dust and everything. So I'll just put the water on it for a few minutes and rinse it out. So there we go. Now, when I got home yesterday, I took this. This is the pot it was in, and all it says is 6-inch orchid because when you get them at the grocery store, you have no idea. So, and it's funny, I thought it was in bark at first because this was on the top. It looks like cocoa husk and moss. So I thought at first it was bark, but it wasn't, and it was just packed inside. So let's take this out of here. Now, this is how much moss was around this poor little plant. That and that in this little pot. There you go. See the difference in size between this pot and this pot? And when you plant your orchid, even if you're putting it in moss, then it has to be fluffy. Now, if you put all that moss in that little pot, plus the roots, can it be fluffy? No, it can't be. So, when I get home, the first thing I do is loosen that up and put it back into a pot that I have that has air holes and put the moss back around loosely till I get to repotting it. So, and I haven't even watered this one because it was so soaked and you can tell. But you know what? I've got it quick and there was a couple sad looking roots and I do have to pick a little more out of there. And then I'll rinse it in the, I was watering day today. I always leave these stakes on. It helps me hold the flower up. And when I put it in, everything will be the same. So you can look at my flowers for a minute while I give this a good rinse. So this is the new project, and I don't want to do what I did before. I found little bits of moss I left in there. And, whoops, don't put it in there. Maybe if I drain this and put some pressure on it for a minute. But as you can see, and this is another thing, if you want an orchid and all you got available is grocery store orchids where you are, I mean, I'd have to travel a long way to find anything else. So, and we never have orchid shows here. So I've never been to an orchid show. When I win the lottery, I'm going. So anyway, the first thing you want to do is get it out that pot, and I did, or ask them, say, you know, even 3 weeks before Valentine's, when are you ordering orchids in? What day are they going to be here? Because I want them the day they arrive. Yeah, why not? Okay, and I've always said when you buy an orchid, look for aerial roots because aerial roots are wonderful. All the roots are the same. In the woods, they're all aerial roots. It's just because they're called aerial roots because they've come out of the pot and we just have somewhere to put our orchid. We keep it in a pot. So, or aerial roots are a good thing. And lots of times, if you do pick up a new one and you look for aerial roots, those aerial roots, they won't die off when you change media because you're not changing the media. They're aerial roots. And so they will keep a plant alive. If the roots are all dying, they will help. But the flower one, and I didn't get aerial roots, but I did get it fairly quickly. And so here's a close-up of the roots. There's not a lot of them. So down the line, we're going to see how well this does. And we'll see if anything starts coming down below. So I think I need to get a little bit more out of there. I just need something sharp, I think. Pair of tweezers. I know. I'm not the most organized person sometimes. I let Jack do the organizing. Okay, let me just pick in there a little bit. I tried to do most of it before the video so I wouldn't be holding you up. So, okay. I think, you know, I tried to get most of it. It's looking pretty good. I don't see anything. I'm feeling for soft and soggy. Anything soft and soggy, soft and soggy has to come off. So, there's a little bit up in here. Because, you know, I found with that one, even that little tiny bit of moss, and this moss was quite rancid. It had been in there a long time. Okay, and we're almost ready to pot it up. I'm going to give it a real good... It's been snowing here, and then one day, then it'll be nice and sunny and really enjoyable. And then all of a sudden it's snowing again. My brother, he lives on the coast, and he said, oh, we got daffodils up. Oh, boy. Well, you know, when it comes here, we beat all them. We get ahead of them. They're getting rain, and we're getting lovely weather. So even though spring comes a little later here than on the coast in Vancouver, we win in the end. So let me just put this in here for a minute. Be very gentle. Now I have, because of that one big hole, I have some mortar rock. I did get some lava rock that was for barbecues, and I was tempted to put it in here, but it was real dusty, and the more I rinsed it and let it soak, the dustier it got. They say cymbidiums do really good in it, but I decided to not do it. Okay, that's the perfect one I want. I still want aerial roots to go through, but I just want to stop most of that bark from going through. So we're going to put that there. And also, what's going to happen is some of this calcium, this is old mortar from bricks, and it lets the calcium come in slowly as the water, so those aerial roots will get, well, anytime I water with fertilizer or from these, they will get the aerial roots down the plastic. So I did leave some holes in the plastic because I wasn't sure if it would accumulate a lot of moss in there or growth, but we'll find out. But I got air holes for misting, and I got air holes for circulation, plus the bottom is open. So, okay, let's put this in. It's looking pretty good. So yes, grocery store orchids, the secret, really the secret is patience. And they're hardy. And once you get them growing in bark, they are stronger, hardier roots. They're more hardy, more like an aerial root, because the circulation is good around the bark, and that is very important for hardy roots. So, and the roots don't have to be green. They can be white. That's because they're not getting the sunlight. But if they want the sunlight, it'll be calling to them. Usually your pot is sitting on a saucer, so the light can't get up. But now, this has lots of holes in the bottom. This is clear. Light is going to encourage those roots to grow. This came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we can watch. We can see if I'm right, how it's going to work. You know, every time I do this, I think I have, oh, Carolyn, you got tons of bark. Okay, now we're going to put in a little bit more of the brick mortar. I sit around and I have a thing and I slowly chop the mortar up, bang it with a rock, pick it out. There. You know, I read so much and I thought, oh, some people use this and some people use that, but I said, Carolyn, you're not changing. The bark is working. I bought 2 big bags out there ahead of time so that in case they say they don't have any more. So, well, I'm doing pretty good, but I still think I will have to add some bark to the top of this, which can be done later. Okay. So, this, and I do have to add, this will go in here. Like this. There we go. It's beautiful. And I will add some more bark. And what I do is I kind of pick up the leaves and poke at it with my fingers because they like to be snug. I've been doing so good putting those weights, and I think it just, if you put a weight on a newly planted one, they like it. And I'm going to reach this one down because I just want to, just when we're ending, I want to show you that this is getting a new leaf. For what it's been through, it's getting a new leaf. I'll take the 2 weights off. And where I had the weights, this is what I want to show you. There is some new roots coming. Yeah, down in there. Okay, so we'll leave that there. So this is the plan, and we're going to see how good it does. And I want to show you the cymbidiums. They've been doing really well. And the ones in the window, none have faded. A couple here. But this big cymbidium with the 6 spikes, when I brought it in, it had 2 spikes not open at all. And they have all opened, and nothing fell. There's some that first are starting to show signs. So I might have to put it in a different room because ethylene gas, when they start to fall, or I just keep them picked clean. So there we go. I want to show you that. And if you want to look up big lip Phalaenopsis or big foot, those are the 2 names that are used for it. And I'm going to just take you for a little short tour here. I want to show you. Now, down in here, there's some new roots coming. This is where I've had the weight, and in here, there's a new leaf coming. And I saw something happening way in there too, so we're hoping. We don't know. I won't say it yet. So yes, I need to add more bark here, but this is how it's going to look. So the pot is quite shallow. Light will get in, air will get in, and I'm hoping, like this one, the aerial roots will grow down here and they can't really get out. These holes here I made so I can miss, and there's some air. Although with this one, where they were growing, there was no holes, just the hole on the bottom. But the trouble with, I had a metal cage holding this back, not thinking the roots would grow down, and it injured them a lot, especially when I was trying to take it out. So another close-up. We'll wait and see if the buds fall or if they don't. And over here, so here we go, really, all this in this, plus the roots of the plant. Now, was that Aryan light? No, it wasn't, and it was soaked because I never even watered this orchid when I got home. So if it had stayed there too long, recipe for disaster. So I'm waiting for this one to open. It's going to be a beauty. Aerial roots, it's not because they don't like the pot they're in. Some orchids have lots of aerial roots and others not. Now, when I repot the triple sewer pot, I am not ripping those aerial roots off. I'm going to shake the soil out, which isn't very deep anyway, or the media, and then put new in. That'll be a project soon to come. So, we're doing good. This white one is the one I was going to use, because I thought, well, it's already in bark, it's used to bark, and we'll see how it does. But I didn't. So these are all that I've had over the years, and I keep them and keep them. The only ones that aren't here are the ones in the window still that are not in bloom. And as you know, this is one that I just repotted. It's looking good. It was watering day to day. And look at here. Yeah, it's happy. No setback at all because I went from bark to bark. And there's moon glow in the back. Now, I want to go around without knocking my babies over. Show you the cymbidium. Yeah, it's still winter out there. Winter. Okay, these ones are still showing no signs of being finished at all. They seem very happy. And, okay, this way. I did a new painting. It's up on the right-hand side of the lady. And so I matched it up with my Rolling Stone painting for the same size. I picked those up at the dollar store. And so there are 3 entertainment pictures in different areas, different types. So I did that. And this was the 4 glass painting I did a while ago when I was playing piano one day. I'm just a learner, I'm not good. But I was playing piano and I knocked it and I broke the front one. So I had to make a new front piece of glass. But, and of course on the back, because I wanted it to look nice from both sides, I just quickly painted a hummingbird in a nest. So, and that was 4 pieces of glass and a fun painting. I'm going to try that again. So here's the 6 spikes. There is the odd one maybe looking like it might be finished. So I had to keep my eye on them and keep them picked. But there, if you want to bring them in, some people say they all have to be out in bud, but there was 2 full spikes not out in bud and they were all fine. So I'm thankful and very much enjoying the cymbidiums more than I thought I would, not knowing what they were and what they could do. And thank you again. I'm glad to have you with me, and we'll be back again probably for a tour and to see how the new orchid is doing. So have a happy Valentine's Day, and remember, I love you and your orchids love you, and that's just the start. Bye.